seconds.
Getting the courier killed in the pubs.
He gets the
getting a lot of
contract
points.
Is your guild doing any challenges?
I don't even have a guild. I got kicked out of the guild because I was that.
Oh, I'm sure you can join Owen's guild. You can join us, although you wouldn't probably do your guild contracts. I want to have one final sentence before we head to the second game draft.
Yeah,
Things to look out for, things to keep in mind.
Things to look out for. Another Nico Baby versus Arteezy showdown, where hopefully Nico Baby has a mid laner that can carry his load, because no Jakiro.
I want to see some more late game potential coming out from Nico Baby's hero in this one. It's going to be a great battle.
A great battle. Nico Baby versus Arteezy, EG versus Alliance, and to the draft panel we go.
Radiant's turn to ban. Seconds. 5 seconds. Dire's turn to ban. Radiant's turn to pick.
A Death Prophet.
Yeah.
And did Alliance deliver the first 20 minutes the way that you were hoping they would with that kind of draft?
Not especially, but it was kind of a tough spot for them. You know, none of their cores, like no one could really do anything. Felt like EG just kind of got a pretty comfortable spot. I've always been afraid of this team, no matter who was on the roster, when all three of their lanes go just fine and all their cores can farm peacefully.
EG,
no one really had a tough game. Yeah. It was just a dream for.
I will give props though to Alliance. The way they utilized the Underlord and IO, it was like beautiful to watch. That 20-25 minute up until that point, just moving around the map, choosing the fights, it was really nice. Just again, fell victim just to that timing, and again, Sark Warden just being a little bit too big.
So I think the most obvious thing to look at is, what do we give Limp this time? Because are we looking for something that can make mid-game space as a playmaker? Do we want someone to late-game farm to join Nico Baby? What's the situation here?
I mean, Jakiro is cute, but the thing I have an issue with is that it's very much an S4 hero, right? Like, at least when I think about S4, is this like kind of spell casting mid-game.
Some teams have actually run it in the offlane as well for Jakiro to punish these like non-BKB built-in cores.
I think you could have in that game, but when you have an Underlord, it's just not possible. And my concern for Alliance is, you know, I feel like Limp and Chessie are stylistically very similar as a player, and I think they need to be given something that can kind of create its own game. And I felt like the issue for Alliance there is none of their heroes really could. Like, Nico's got to be farm first for some time. Underlord is not a playmaker. Like, it just felt like they were so slow that all the fights they were winning were effectively off the back of either really cool global moves or just Nico Baby. I saw a really interesting... I'm gonna say a top tier comment from a fan on the game is was our Nico Baby's God Strength on autocast.
In the new patch.
That's how it felt. I didn't know if that was an update or not. I checked. It cannot be autocast, but it did certainly seem that way.
It was very willy-nilly with him.
If it doesn't work the first time, try again.
Until you lose.
Practice makes perfect, although EG is going to be mixing it up a little bit. Even though Alliance pair up the Eye on the Sven again, EG starts out with a Warlock this time.
I think the main thing, though, to note here is that this is the first of all of EG, when they've won the coin toss or have priority in pick selection, they've actually chosen second pick. Really? Normally they pick first pick or Dire, depending on the teams. So when you see these tier 1 teams move into that second game of the draft series, they often take what their opponent wants normally, right? And Alliance, they are 4 wins, 2 losses on second pick, and they are 0-2 on first. So this is EG's way of basically going, we're putting you not only on your less favored drafting position, but also we're going to just, you know, be confident at game 2.
And on a different topic, I just think it's super cool. You know, we don't have many legendary brands in Dota. You know, teams that have been a part of the scene for as long as, you know,
we don't.
We have like a handful. Okay, EG and Alliance is one of them. I think it's really cool how they're both still years later, completely different rosters, the same identity persists, right? All the way back TI3, you'd very commonly see Alliance with a first pick Wisp into the Loda partner in the opening. And EG, I believe they used this exact same open at TI5 when they had Sumail. Maybe it was, it might have been a Shanghai Major, actually. They knocked us out in the lower bracket, but they have this Warlock Ember to target the Wisp, but more importantly, it's again superstar youngster mid player, new to the roster, just first to his hero. They did the same thing for Sumail TI5. If you remember the finals, they would give him Ember Spirit, Lesh, whatever it is that he wanted right away, and it's the same case here. Although I guess they opened Gyro Clock. It doesn't matter. It's a long time ago. The points stand.
I'll give you hero tendencies maybe being the same, but Alliance has worked hard to shed that rat Dota identity that kind of defined them in their earlier iterations. I don't really think that's so much the case now in Modern Alliance.
I think the main thing is, like, the game itself has always been, like, the heroes are still the same conceptually, right? So across time, you see patterns arise, right? And then it's nice to compare the patterns within the team. So, again, Alliance is just, demonstrating a pattern that has presented itself.
Yeah, I mean, they lost, so,
Yeah, clearly it's
just
good.
keep it going. It's moving. It's doing pretty well for them so far.
EG using this second pick, this Ember, we've seen it before. You just cover it with the 3 bans. We've harped on it so many times, and they ban out Viper. They're, like, I think this pretty much, to me, shows, okay, this is clearly just a mid Ember, right? There's no way with Arteezy you're going to flex it
They
into
have
that role.
GPK. Like, you just keep them on the
Yeah,
spirits.
exactly. So you're now going to use your 3 bans to enable GPK. And I was thinking about it. Alliance, the carry pool that you have, how many actually fare well against Arteezy's heroes, right? Like, you think of Nico, Slark, Wraith King, Sven,
Morphling, Medusa.
Like, yeah, these aren't always that great against, like, illusion heroes, Arc Wardens. Like, they have such different carry pools, so I think this naturally just puts Alliance at, like, a difficult position going into any game against EG.
It's true. I mean, I've joked about Arteezy having not a hero pool, but a hero puddle.
Yeah.
The thing is, all of what he plays is incredibly strong right now, and he's excellent at them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised to see EG bust out more Arc Warden. Like, why not? Even in games that could be considered more difficult. The previous one, was kind of free in a lot of ways. And then the last pick, Jakiro, didn't really do much to help. You need something to get on top of him. And I hope when I look at this opener right now, I'd love to see Alliance double down on the defensive support. I'd like to see an Oracle, perhaps, just so you have something to prevent GPK from going off like he did in the previous game.
It's very hard, though, to sort of, like...
And he kills everything.
You can use
Plus
that cleanse word if you want.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare use the C word on my
Again,
panel.
for the viewers at home that don't understand the terminology, the dispel can be offensive, that's a purge, or defensive, that's a cleanse.
No.
A defensive purge is a defensive dispel is a cleanse.
No.
Yes.
The dispel is not an umbrella category. It's either a dispel if it's defensive or a purge if it's offensive.
Tsunami is correct.
A purge is an offensive dispel.
5.
Then a dispel is a defensive purge.
He gotcha.
Well, transitive property your ass all day.
We will send that to the commissioner.
Sure.
Let's get the result.
Let's send the discussion back to the draft. Why exactly is Alliance just not banning the Arc Warden if they think that that's the problem?
Just maybe don't fear it. I love that EG just go for the toss. This is a 6 support duo. Warlock doesn't offer too much control, but okay.
There it is.
They were mashing that button.
Bang.
They were hitting that to give it to him, eh? Okay, fine. So then EG has no issues. They swap out the Warlock instead of the Grimstroke.
Yeah.
Still need to figure out Ramsey's hero most likely.
I think your points about Nico Baby's hero pool is very valid. I think it also carries on to Limp as well. What do these guys play that fares well against Arc Warden? Something as an example that was always considered like a hard counter to AW was Tinker. Limp is not going to play Tinker.
No one's going to play
he
Tinker in this
one
match.
game in his last 120 pubs. He played one Tinker game and lost it. So just saying.
Soul Ring got buffed though. So
Let's go.
Let's go.
I do love it with Wisp. I mean, I wouldn't mind some sort of I don't even know.
I'm just so surprised that they haven't shown the respect to this Arc Warden. The fact that you've shown the Sven and you've seen how it's been not counted in terms of how Arc just plays the game. There's a window in which Sven can pop off, and you can see the adjustments in Alliance draft of going, we need to have so Centaur Rubik, they're lane dominators, and they can actually open up the map to allow the Sven to have something to play with.
Here's the problem is that they have no method of controlling terrain. Whereas if you look at EG, the bubble's going to go down. Shards, upheaval, constant slight change, zip away. If you're Alliance, your whole lineup has to sort of just tunnel vision and walk forwards until you're on top of somebody. And EG has so many tools to disrupt you in your quest to reach Arteezy. And if Limp's hero can't use some sort of non-blink required initiation to start a fight, to get onto the Warlock, to get onto the AW, I think they're going to have major issues.
I think the counter argument to that is when you have a Warlock 5, he is a hero that is basically, I will decide if I want to stop a fight or start a fight, and other than that, again, he's maybe just this upheaval, this fatal bonds. So
but that's fine, just fatal bonds against 3 strength heroes.
But when you have these, like, there's such a brute lineup on Alliance, if they want to go to a terrain, they're just going to walk up it, they're going to own it, right? You have so many skirmishy heroes on EG that if they ever fall behind slightly, it will be very scary to try and mount a defense, right? It's going to be Ember poking, Tusk can commit with maybe the golem behind, you play off your clone, but if Alliance have these items, it's scary.
I think you underestimate Arc Warden's damage output in the mid game. Like, I think EG can just chill. Why do they mind being reactive? They have so many tools to cut off whoever goes in from Alliance from their backline, and GPK is just going to hunt for the Rubik IO at all times. Both of these stuns from Alliance right now are super easy to juke out as well. I guess the lift isn't, but the 2 cores don't threaten him.
So given the fact that Alliance are relying on this IO spend strategy again, is the idea to double down on winning in the early game and making sure that 20 minutes extends to like a 35 minutes? Or are they going to keep the same 20 minutes and then give Limp a hero that maybe becomes more relevant post 40 minutes so you can have actually 2 heroes that may be able to deal with Arc Warden?
We joke that, draft panel in this last series is the better position because if it's a 2-0, you get to just go home, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And I'll be honest, I'm almost confident enough to just take off my microphone at the conclusion of this because I just see Alliance saying, let's that didn't work, let's try it again. EG hasn't even 5 in terms of a matchup. There's no Doom, but the Doom I all in Grimstroke, but now you've got Warlock Ember. Like, this is just sick to me. Look at the raw damage output from EG's lineup, and think about how much easier it is to deal their damage.
Until you see the Limp hero. Yeah. Let's reserve some judgment before you start shutting the microphone.
Yeah, you can see EG's bans, Quap, Void Spirit. These are heroes that can,
I just hope it doesn't puck. Please don't puck. Please.
Then give me another hero that can jump on an Arc Warden.
Or an Death Prophet again. Like this DP, it makes a ton of sense here because then you also have a method of self-sustain. The issue right now is that the Wisp is going to be tethered to your Sven. Centaur is going to fend for himself, as is likely Limp's hero. So it has to be something more durable that can kind of just go in with the squad.
In terms of the tethering side quickly, when you talk about if you did go DP, he doesn't always tether the Sven because we saw how that Ags, he disconnects himself. So I naturally wants to have that kind of second tier tether that he can feel good playing into. And with the DP now, like you just mentioned, good job, Kyle, he can just decide, okay, if my Sven's committing, my DP is now the one I'm enabling, right? You want to enable this DP.
Why couldn't they pick this last game? Why Jakiro? Because this makes a ton of sense. The silence is just so easy to execute, especially against these spirit heroes. You'd much rather have an instant click 6-second silence than I've got an ice path. You totally won't dodge this.
So leaving your mic on, right? You're quickly backpedaling. It's kept on.
We'll see. I think it depends on the lane. I'm still concerned for the Alliance lineup, and they're now very cooldown reliant. You have both DP and Sven that can get played around. I will say it's a sick Death Prophet game. Like, this is so insane for them.
When I mentioned how Alliance, that when they go to an area, they just command it with their tankiness. This is what I mean. When you look at EG's lineup, it's 4 skirmishy heroes plus the arc behind. That doesn't fare well against a DP-esque Deathpool type lineup. When you go to Roshan, it's like, of course it'll be scary for the Warlock, but it's so easy for Alliance to just go to a tower, dive, fight. They're going to have Siphon, they're going to have Tether Hill, Centaur Stampede as well. There's so many ways to disengage.
I'll give it. The thing is, EG kind of have to play reactive. You want Alliance to initiate, you want to kite the spells and just abuse terrain, right? Make Alliance run through a choke point, close the door behind him with shards, with upheaval after a golem, something. But it's a closer draft than before, but I think I might just be biased because I love the deck.
it's now a talent, and you just leave it at that. You don't do anything else. You don't backpedal, nothing like that. You want the audience to laugh at Kyle. That's the whole point of this.
Played out though, the Kyle being.
That is true.
Kyle, you're right.
Kyle, you're right.
It's attached to the spell.
It's attached to the spell.
Yeah. But on the real, I do really like the Necro pick this game. I think for the lane and for the game, it's good. Other than the fact that the Sven can dispel the Necro shield, but Necro can also build a Blink Dagger. So you have that. And I think the lane is going to go really well. I think Necro is going to do a ton of damage in this game. With that being said, I totally agree also with the draft panel. They're saying that Limp being on a hero that could do something to actually supplement Nico Baby probably would have looked a lot better in the first game, because what
I think Kyle said, why didn't they do Death Prophet last game instead of Jakiro?
He was very visceral about it. So he really was not liking the Jakiro. I'm totally open to these crazy picks. I like seeing it. I find it interesting, but sometimes most of the time it doesn't work out. Lip Jakiro though, he does play that a lot.
Yeah, he's done 8 times in his professional history when it comes to professional Dota 2 games, and he is 4-4. So it's a special niche that he's got, and it's not even convincing in its win rate.
Yeah, I mean that's better than negative, I suppose.
True. Well, it was positive before that last game.
Okay.
Maybe it only worked with Kyle. Back on complexity.
That's true.
Maybe he just doesn't have the right captain and mastermind.
I was gonna say this is actually like the best. This is the best series to have Kyle as a draft panel analyst, because he knows some of these players in and out. Any of these players that he's played with, he just knows.
All right, let's talk about our own analysis for a bit, because I feel like both you and I were on the same mindset, which was Alliance was looking good.
Yeah.
In game 1, we both thought they were winning. I would even say that we probably both thought they were going to win.
I did.
Okay, this Sven is really far ahead. He's got this Aghanim Scepter. He's just going to get on top of the Arc Warden. And that didn't happen at all.
Yeah, they took a tier 2 at 18 minutes into the game.
Yeah.
That does not happen these days, even with push heroes. Beastmaster, Death Prophet. It doesn't matter what you have. Tier 2s are extremely difficult to take unless you have some supremely good early game. In Alliance, they were looking really good.
So my question is, were we misreading the matchup and how that goes in the Io Sven versus Arc Warden? Do you think it's entirely about the supporting cast? Because clearly Alliance feels that way, where they just kind of like redrafted the same thing and said, okay, let's go again, but with just some different heroes behind it.
Yeah, that would definitely depend on who you ask, I think.
Okay. But I'm asking you.
I don't think Sven is good. I still think Sven is good against the Arc Warden.
Okay.
I would say it's a supporting cast. That's my personal opinion, but clearly EG thinks that against the Sven, the Arc Warden is great. Maybe it's the game. The way that Sven wants to play the game is conducive to how Arc Warden wants to play the game, and Sven's timing is just nullified by Arc Warden's timing. That's what I would assume their logic is, something along those lines. But I personally like the Sven.
Okay. And we can at least agree they've got better heroes to get on top of the Arc Warden this time around, right? We've got Centaur, who enables everybody to go at him. We've got the Death Prophet, which I'll be honest, I'm slightly concerned about the Death Prophet not having the clear saves, right? Because Io being paired up with the Sven oftentimes may not be able to help the Death Prophet. The other defensive mechanism we have is Stampede.
Right. He's got to get some items this game. I think he needs a Blink. I think he needs a Yules, BKB.
So he needs a good laning phase.
He needs a good laning phase, but this is one of Limp's specialties, so I feel like this is a good patch for Death Prophet as well. That change to her Crypt Swarm, where it's got the much smaller cast time, it's really nice. Oh, I like this play from EG, sending the Warlock to this lane. Just buffing up that heal from Ramses. The nuke, I should say.
Meanwhile, though, they might just be able to get the kill on Hanskin here because Crit is up here. Perhaps something that came as a surprise to Alliance. They do manage to get the first blood.
Yeah, that's another one of those interesting calls that could go either way, but clearly it worked out. Sending the Tusk with the Arc Warden is pretty nice. He's a hero that really benefits from that tag team. Necro, not so much.
So it looks like they're just going to be playing the harassment game, which, I mean, this Fatal Bond looks really good against the IO.
This is actually something that I see Alliance doing a lot, where they just play a lane to constantly shove and pull this hard count. It's very difficult to deal with if you don't have lane push. You just lose the level advantage.
So do you think that's something the EG maybe picked up Alliance in that regard?
No, it's more so it's a fairly common trend over the last probably 1 to 2 years where this is like a way that people actually choose to win a lane. It didn't exist for a long time, at least not to my recollection. So I think it's just like the tier 1 teams are pretty comfortable knowing like when to do this and when not to do this. Warlock's a very good hero at doing this because the Fatal Bonds is quite difficult to push against.
Yeah, and then you've got an AoE nuke in the Necrophos, so it just kind of combos up together, guarantees the wave pushes into the tier 1 tower, and then it's very hard for one support to deal with that hard camp pull, particularly from the Dire side of things, where it's super easy to pull that Radiant hard camp crit. Trying to do a snowball dodge on the stomp. S4 does a good job of canceling that stomp, though.
Ooh, he wants that last hit.
You got it. He's got all the last hits, it looking like.
Very nice.
Still not happy with this regen, though. Fortunately, at least IO is able to make efficient use of the regen, but it still is looking really rough. And speaking of rough, GPK continuing to be shoved back. Once again, the stomp being fake, pumped out. Does manage to hit the stomp eventually on a crit, but it's too late. Hanskin has already taken the damage and goes down again.
He's suicide.
He's going to suicide and gets the courier on the way. So that's actually a nice little combo there.
Yeah, that was really nice. I mean, I don't think he expected to get the courier, but, you know, just a little gift there.
No, most of the time when we see supports do that, they like go and cut around and die to the tier 2 to not give up experience range. Why do you think it was so important for him to die right away?
I think Tusk is a hero. You can just run up, pop tag team, snowball.
Okay, maybe this is why. Maybe GBK needed the extra assistance. He needed a refill on the bottle.
Yeah, this is always nice. I mean, especially on a Tusk that wants to run around anyway. I mean, he's perfectly fine with this. He doesn't have boots, but still 315 base move speed hero.
Yeah, it's pretty fast.
He's even bringing Wraith Band components to Arteezy too, so he's really functioning as a courier here, making a lot of use of the death, just like you said.
See if in turn Arteezy's able to get all the last hits on this hard camp just like Nico Baby was. Back over to mid lane, GPK gonna be chased out again and again and again by that Spirit Siphon. Super annoying. Fly will take the Arcane Rune right in front of Limp's face.
Very good rune control. E.g., both of these games have had great rune control, which is especially important because Limp is doing an extremely good job in this mid lane matchup. I don't think this is Ultra Death Prophet favored, but he's just playing mechanically very well here. Pushing the Spirit Siphons to the limits.
You can see even when Ramsey's just a little bit low, he has no fear of any aggression just because it's double healing duo. So sturdy.
Both of these lanes, honestly. I think if you're Nico Baby in this lane too, you're so happy that you have an IO as a support. One of the few heroes that can actually give you the regen to sustain through the Necro Heartstopper aura.
Yeah.
That Heartstopper is completely devastating for Sven usually, but with an IO, I mean, clearly he's doing perfectly fine in this lane.
Yeah, they've got top 3 CS all across the board for Alliance, so things are looking pretty good. Bounty runes, let's see, we got, looks like 2 for 2. S4 being dove at here with a snowball on him. Magnetic field just to protect. Nice toss back though. Hanskin sees an opportunity to get aggressive onto Arteezy. Arteezy turning to kill S4. Pops a fire. Does manage to get the kill on the Centaur first, so he collects the experience. At the same time though, between the two supports, Hanskin certainly looks healthier.
There's a bit of indecisiveness there from S4. You can see that he kind of thought that maybe he needed to run away there, but then it's like, oh, Arteezy's taking a lot of damage. I can turn this.
Yeah.
And if he had just committed, I think Arteezy dies first. But, I mean, still, he's doing really well in terms of CS on S4. 24 and 10, like, that's a lot of denies.
Yeah.
This is one thing that I noticed in researching Alliance is that they're very good at laning. Like, they tend to win their lanes. Even if they're favored to lose the lanes, they'll still do really well. But EG bouncing back with the good rune control on every single spawn.
You know, Limp's a little triggered right now.
Yeah, that's always a
bottom rune again.
Right. That is the play of mid laner.
Blocked in. Nice ice shards. That'll guarantee the kill onto Hanskin here. It does cost them a GPK rotation that won't find anything else.
Just a Rubik kill. That's
This is the Siege Wagon push is coming in with Exorcism out, so GPK, he's got to get back here soon. Fly, he's probably going to be dying to this as, yep, sure enough, does manage to get this kill. And S4, they actually went back to kill S4 despite this hefty push coming in from the Death Prophet and everything. They opted to ignore it in exchange for that offlaner.
He's taking up some of the enemy jungle there too. Knows the rotation's coming back in. Gets a good amount of damage on the tower though.
Yeah, decent amount. Not too bad.
I was gonna say, Nico Baby needs some help down here. You do not want to leave a Sven solo versus a Necrophos. That's one problem here, is that you can't leave him alone down here. I mean, he's gonna just die to the Reaper's Scythe.
I think maybe he got level 6 outside of vision because of nighttime when that last creep died. But yeah, I was literally going to say, like, he needs to heal up soon because level 6 is coming in for the Necrophos, and then all of a sudden it was there, and then he was dead, and then S4 is dead. And now Hanskin's going to be trying to dodge some Spark Race, but the shards makes it really difficult to do that. And a double kill is picked up for Arteezy.
Crit is playing mega aggressive up here. I really like how they're playing this top lane. You wouldn't think it would work with an Arc Warden, but with the Tuscan against these heroes, clearly there's not much they can do to turn it.
And they're just totally neutering this Death Prophet by keeping control of all the power runes, and that stems from the fact that they can leave Necrophos alone at bottom lane.
Apparently, he will do very well if they leave him alone. God damn.
Should look to their top tower.
Yeah, this is looking a bit rough for Alliance because, as you said, it feels like they're a team that oftentimes depends on being able to have a pretty good go of the laning phase. And hits a really nice, like, 15 to 20 minute timing. Feels like they so many times they solidify a really nice advantage in the space of like 5 minutes. But
yeah, absolutely.
It's not like they're down by a whole lot, though. Even if Evil Genius is getting a lot of kills.
It's not, but I'm definitely concerned about just the Necrophos. I mean, this is a last pick Necro, so this is very typical that it'll happen. But if you do rotate the Sven Io out of the bot lane, who do you put there? Death Prophet? Like, this is the hero you want to be aggressive taking towers. Centaur? This is a melee strength hero versus a Necro. Like, that's not going to do well either. So this is when you need to kind of make moves. Or you can static the game, but you have to have the Io bot. You have to have the Io with the Sven.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Chipping away at that bottom tower. You just can't leave Ramses alone, otherwise he'll take the tower, but at the same time, always showing two heroes against one isn't going to feel so good. So it looks like Hanskin's making the call. He's like, okay, we really need to kill this guy. I'm going to rotate across. You're going to TP in on Limp, and we're just going to go for it here. They're going to pop the Exorcism and everything. They need this kill, but they stun. Telekinesis comes in. They had to use the Stampede to give Hanskin the movement speed to get there in the first place. But it all comes together in the end. And even better, Evil Geniuses was at the same time. A rotation that now is going to maybe result in nothing.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. Okay, fighting the runes.
They're going to fight for the bounty rune here. Might be able to get the kill on Hanskin. Yeah, it quickly gets taken out by the punch from Crit, who already has his level 6 before the 10-minute marker. Now GPK looks to be able to... Okay, never mind. Doesn't try and run them down even further.
To their bottom tower.
Just takes the one, gets out, does have an arcane rune waiting for him in the river.
So, I really like that move from Alliance. I think that's... They needed to do something like that. Alliance is very good and creative at making these sorts of moves where there's some sort of stalemate going on. It's not good for them, and then they break it. They tend to be good at this. But the problem is, you don't take an objective if you fight in your own safe lane, because it's your safe lane. There are no objectives near it to take, and the tower that you can take isn't important.
Oh, look at that. They're relocating into mid while they don't have the Ember Spear here. They're going to try and run down Arteezy on this Arc Warden, and they might be able to get the kill. But Nico Baby's going to be in some trouble, especially as the Golem is dropped on top of him. All that movement speed, trying to get away. The relocate back out. It'll be enough. Nico Baby is put into the saving grace of the IO. But Hanskin, well, he's left alone underneath this tier 1 tower and will die. Maybe gets the revenge kill against Crit, but no. He gets the tower aggro off of him. Ramses, meanwhile, just calmly pressures this tower again and again and again, and back over to mid lane, where they rotated the IO Sven. They ran back to mid. They said, forget bottom, we're giving that tower up. We're going to make sure our mid tower is defended.
Yeah, I would say this is a good trade for Alliance. Just breaking down the lanes, having this top area accessible to them, where they don't just have to choose, like, okay, do I send a Centaur versus a Necro, or do I send a Sven versus a Necro? When you take this tower, you don't have to make that choice anymore. So I think that trade definitely favors them.
Pop Stampede just in case.
Okay, I think he thought probably Ember was heading up to try and kill him there.
Yeah.
RTZ does the trick where you pull the creeps away from the catapult, get the catapult killed. You don't have to worry about taking extra damage on the tower. It's always a nice one. Eyes up that haste rune. That's always something to me that speaks to how fast these tier 1 players like to play. Is when they deny something like a haste. It's literally 2 feet away from them, but they're like, "This is if I walk to this is enough time for you to kill me."
Yeah.
Like that to me just speaks to how fast they give respect to the enemies that they're gonna play.
Yeah, no, you see it all the time. It feels like that's become more and more a bigger deal. Is that just power runes getting denied over taking the risk of picking it up yourself when it really wouldn't change anything. What is a hasted Rubik going to do here? Probably not that much.
Right, not that much.
GPK, phase and drums for him. Nico Baby already has the Mask of Madness. Was that an Echo Saber or BKB he was building? Oh, S4 gets caught out. 5 to 12, but a very even net worth, so.
Crit's got boots, medallion, Blightstone. So he is really going for that extra minus armor.
Yeah.
Possibly building into an eventual Deso, but even if you don't do that, the Blightstone is still quite effective, especially when it comes to amplifying your team's damage with, with the tag team. I like where Alliance are putting the Sven. Oh, he's going SMY, yeah.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
I do think probably this game he's going to opt for like a 3rd item BKB, though. He's not going to... I really doubt he's going to go like full greed. But then again, you do have the Death Prophet, which changes things. You're not solo carrying the game.
Okay.
So... I mean, maybe that's famous last words, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to go BKB this game either. And then you just feed. But he got really kited when he got that Orchid, and then the timing was gone.
Yeah. And in this game, anyway, he has to certainly worry about a lot of this magic damage that's going to come out. Ember Spirit, and then that Reaper Scythe that comes into play, so...
But this is true in the Necro Aura, too, now.
Stomp catches GPK, the silence follow-up, but because he grabbed the illusion rune before S4 was able to stomp him, he uses that illusion rune to dispel off the silence.
That's the 2nd illusion rune that he's used like that. That's a real nice change for mid laners.
Yeah.
That one. The rune went from very useless to very useful with that change.
Yeah, illusion rune just always, like, it was...
the worst.
It was great on like very, very few heroes, you know?
If you have terrible Blade or Naga Siren, it's
Axe,
great. Yeah, exactly. Or a Radiance.
Everybody else is like, oh, an illusion rune?
Yeah.
You kidding me? Especially early on.
I'm gonna go feed my illusions. That'll be good.
Yeah.
He might have been scouted placing that.
Oh, look at that. He placed that ward. And he saw the Remnant get put out, so he actually did manage to steal that now. FNG turning around, trying to get the tether range of the creep wave, but he's too far. Wonder what he was doing out there by himself.
It's a solo kill, man. I think FNG's level 9, right? So crit killing him, that's a pretty big deal. Getting that XP solo on a Tusk, who's basically already a core.
Do you think playstyle-wise, we talked about the draft changes, but playstyle-wise, do you think Alliance is doing anything different against EG?
No, this seems about the same.
Yeah,
to me.
That's concerning, right? I'm feeling like, okay, Sark Whartons has his hand of Midas and is still going off. They do get the Fatal Bonds Golem to try and turn things around. The Reaper Scythe is going to go out in the Centaur and does a big boost of damage, getting the kill. But Limp is sitting right on top of Ramses. If he can keep up with him, they have Evil, though. It's slowing everybody down so damn much. Nico Baby isn't really able to help out, so Limp's just going to have to do it all by himself. A silence, and that's going to be enough to be able to get the kill on Ramses. Turning that damage now onto the mid-tier 1. GPK looks to be able to poke at them enough that they won't be able to continue to go for that push, but it's just not enough. This death ball, a little bit too strong. They get the mid tower.
Seeing the effectiveness now of the Death Prophet there, it's like you can't just kite Nico Baby anymore. You have Limp to worry about if you do that. Like, Limp is going to do enough damage, and That's why the Death Prophet feels really nice too, is that like she does so much damage. She doesn't need to build any damage items to do damage. She's just going to do it.
Smoke up.
Smoke up.
Evil geniuses working their way down.
Eager to know.
A bit surprised. I mean, I guess they have Ember Spirit. I was just like, they just used Golem and stuff, but they're just going to keep going because Alliance, they already used Exorcism, we already used God's Strength. If they can catch Limp here, what a beautiful Ice Shards. That's going to be able to lock him in and allow the rest of Evil Geniuses to funnel it. But no, a good save from S4. Managed to catch 2. Limpet's going to still fight Infist as he had the double Spirit Siphon. Nico Baby comes in without his God's Strength, just only a stun right now. FNG trying to heal him up, does heal him up to full, but he's still slowed down by those upheaval. It's just nasty. FNG dancing away from some of the damage, trying to keep Nico Baby alive, but he just can't. And S4, who jumped back in and try and save his carry, is going to die as well. It does a lot of damage to Ramsey, but he's being healed, kept alive by the Warlock. Limp is still gunning for it, but Alliance, they commit again and again and again to try and save and get kills, and it's just not working. They've overcommitted now, and they're going to lose their entire team as a result. All because they wanted Ramses, all because they wanted to save this mid lane.
You know, a lot of both of these games have been determined by the calls made by both of the teams. I keep wanting to shout out, like, whoever makes the call to fight without Warlock Golem, man, that is risky. That's quite risky. And I mean, clearly it worked out, and it makes sense in retrospect. You have a Death Prophet ulti that's really important, Sven ulti that's really important. You know, you have an Ember that can go in, it has no cooldowns. The Fatal Bonds at the very least, like this ability, arguably is the most important thing about this Warlock hero, especially if you have an Ember on your team and a Tusk that's this farmed. Like with the right heroes, Fatal Bonds is amazing because it's just 30% extra damage to everybody.
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic call and great initiation from Crit with that shards like that. It's like he had vision.
Beautiful.
It's like he had vision, but he didn't have any vision.
I think it, like, to talk about your point there, I think it would just be easy for you to just be like, we've got an Arc Warden that has a Hand of Midas. We could just chill. We could just keep farming, you know? But instead, they chose to get active, just like Alliance. Choose to get active, using the relocate to be able to get this pick off on Brits. Not a small kill, even though he is a support. 450 gold off of that because of the mega kill streak.
Yeah,
so.
he's huge. He's a really good kill to get. He's also instigating a lot of these fights, so... S4 has also done a really great job being super active in these games, or in this particular game. He's been hitting big stomps in all of the fights with counter initiating. That's one thing about having a Centaur with a Wisp, is that you have the old combo of just a guy that blinks in and stuns somebody, and you have the relocates anywhere.
They're going to use the Stampede here because they fly. They're going to be able to catch up to him. Kill him before he can get off the Golem, before they can plan a team fight around him, and then use this positioning to try and take that tower, or bottom tower, excuse me. The Glyph goes off. I wonder if they're still going to stick around. I'd be tempted to.
They do have some abilities. You know, they've got the Sven ult still.
Oh, he didn't go for that SNY. He did go BKB second item.
Okay, it feels like that makes sense. Given how the last game went, I could see why he opted to go for that. The game was looking really good, and then he picked up an Orchid, and then he got kited, and then the game looked horrible. So I could absolutely see why you would go to that item. Just don't risk it, you know?
Yeah. So this is going to be another adjustment that we see Alliance make in their decision-making tree to see if they can beat this Arc Warden in a second game. And I also like the fact that it feels like they're picking up the pace here. You know, they're just going to keep running at Evil Geniuses. They feel strong right now with that BKB.
Into Rock too. Okay, now they just push the lane in. They hope to get some sort of response to it, and they do. The Warlock's down there. He's not a very fast hero. He can't make his way to elsewhere on the map, so now would probably be a good time to smoke.
Very aggressive wards on both sides of the table here. You can see Evil Geniuses, triangle ward, another ward behind the tier 2 at bottom lane. Meanwhile, Alliance, with their aggressive move, was able to get some aggressive vision down into the enemy triangle as well. But did get counter warded, so they're left with a little bit more, not quite as deep vision as EG was able to pick up.
That's one thing that I noticed in researching Alliance, is that they tend to get really good deep wards down that don't get dewarded. They place like really fringe wards, ones where they don't exactly give the best vision, but you'll always see people running through that area, so you know where they are. they'll do it like literally without smokes. They'll just have a support literally run in face first. It's like, if I die, I die, and then that often works.
3-man smoke up from Evil Geniuses here as they shadow Ramses. He pushes in the mid lane. I feel like they're just going to run up into this triangle area. Yeah, they do manage to catch S4 initially here. The Reaper Scythe will put him down into the grave. He's gone for a minute. The rest of Alliance were TPing in pretty quickly here. GPK just poking at this Rubik. Now the rest of the team is still kind of looping around. They get a ward up on their own high ground here.
I don't know if Alliance can take the stack with S4 being dead. This is, I mean, if they can take this, it's really good for them because this is farm right in front of EG's face. Wow, what a very ballsy call. And the funny thing is, we just saw S4 do exactly what Ramses was doing in the previous game, but unfortunately, without a BKB, it's not just like a free get out of jail. Yeah. He doesn't have that, but the positioning was still really great. Obviously, the person you want to pick off there is Nico Baby.
Yeah.
But S4 says, no, you're going to kill me. You're going to kill some useless Centaur. You're going to use the Necro ulti on me.
Yeah.
Like, that's the dream for an offlaner. It's kind of boring, but that's what you have to do.
And it would have worked perfectly, except Evil Geniuses had this ward. They still have it that is in the triangle. They saw S4, and that led into GPK being able to get that slight change from the low ground, so there was no opportunity for S4 to be able to break the smoke and blink away.
True. If it was blind, he could probably just press ult and run.
I'd say those two wards have been causing a lot of havoc for Alliance. Those two wards, Evil Geniuses has managed to keep up. They managed to get the kill on the Rubik here. GPK is getting very, very big. At the same time, though, Nico Baby almost completed his Aghanim Scepter, and that is obviously going to be a big, big window for Alliance to start aggressively taking fights into EG. See if they can turn this game around because, yeah, you can see it right there. The win probability, it doesn't feel that different from Game 1, Jenkins. In fact, in many ways, it feels worse because it felt like Alliance was ahead at 20 minutes. And here, it's Evil Geniuses ahead. They're going to relocate down to the bottom lane. They do have the help of the Stampede to be able to run over Arteezy here. Get on top of him, get inside the bubble, and start swinging. Arteezy trying to get saved here, but no, S4 is there. Managed to get the stop. Nico Baby, they actually leave him behind, not tethering up to him. He's going to try and fight it out with the BKB. Far now, he could just be Reaper Scythe. Ramses is going to go for it, gets it off just in time before Limp can stop it. Limp starts putting out some damage onto Ramses. Ramses, though, getting the heal off of the kill, plus the Essence Ring, plus the Warlock. He is not an easy target to bring down, but eventually he will get caught. He will go down, and they're going to be able to catch one more. It's going to be Crit trying to hide in the trees, trying to TP out, but a good Yule Scepter puts a stop to that. Good play from Alliance. Just as we said, with the Aghanim Scepter, they can maybe turn this game around. Apparently, they don't even need it. A big win.
Man, once again, I love these calls from Alliance. That was literally just a relocate. That's it. They're like, dude, he's out of position. He's on his own down here. They just relocated Sven. No setup whatsoever. They literally just relocated Sven in there to kill Arteezy, knowing that he's alone. Because they have the ward. They see that there's nobody else there behind him. Yeah. So it's a tad risky because it could still be a bait, but they just say, screw it, let's go.
Yeah. I don't think Arteezy really gave them that kind of opportunities last game.
No.
Because he was like, I remember watching him, and it was like he was always farming like triangle or around a tier 2 or something like that. I don't really remember him putting his hero out there, so.
And he just picked up a blink, Arteezy.
Oh,
he doesn't.
Okay.
He doesn't want that to happen a second time.
Yeah.
And once again, you have this Sven stun that you need to disjoint. This is the way you deal with it. So having the two disjoints of the BKB and the blink is going to help out. But man, you really don't see that play anymore, where it's literally just a flat IO relocate, nobody set up. Like that was when IO first came out. That was how everybody was doing it. Mm-hmm. It's been so long since I've seen that though.
Smooth little move there from GPK just to take one creep wave with him as he leaves the top lane. BKB completed with that.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Tempest Double was pushing into that mid tier 2. Nico Baby says he's got to go address that. Alliance looks a little bit more chill in their farming. Maybe that's just because, as you were pointing out, I mean, there's a big difference between having a Death Prophet and a Jakiro mid, right? You've got a core you can kind of rely on here.
Yeah, they're definitely a lot more comfortable going late, and they have all their tier 2s up too on Alliance, so you can, if you take one tier 2 right now, you can just take the outpost.
Smoke in, Nico baby. He needs that opening. Somebody give him the vision. He tries to go straight into Ramses. Looks like with the magic damage, they're going to be able to pop him. Crit's going to be up next. Snowball buys him just a little bit of time here. Going on to Limp, but obviously he's very unlikely to make it out. Maybe he is. Fly's going to turn around. Oh, the fatal bonds, and look at that damage. The support's just getting wiped out almost instantly, and Limp, he's taking a whole heap of damage here. Nico baby's going to turn around. Not scared of GPK one bit. FNG coming back in. He fought back. He relocated back in, and he's going to die back with that. And Limp's going to go down as well. He couldn't even save his core. He can't save Nico baby either. He's kited to infinity. Crit running literal circles around Alliance as Arteezy gets the ultra kill to wipe Alliance for the second time in this game.
That rock fatal bonds, I wish I could see the maelstrom damage, because there was so many maelstroms chaining around, and then the fatal bonds, and then there was also the Mjolnir from Arteezy on both of the clones. Like, it was just so much damage all at once from that Warlock.
Here it comes. Here's that moment. Fatal bonds. They're all grouped up. Boom. 5-man rock. What a hit from Fly.
It looks like pure damage when it's that much damage all at once.
Yeah. You're going to be able to grab the Aegis. MKB now complete for the Arc Warden. Feels like we just saw him pick up the Blink Dagger and see his farm. It's beginning to just exponentially increase compared to the Sven.
Yeah, except last time when it was when he was 10k ahead, it was 30 to 20k, and now it's well, it's not so bad.
I mean, I think what we were hoping to see, Jenkins, was that Alliance would make the adjustments that would beat the Arc Warden with this strategy, and instead it looks like the opposite. It looks like Evil Geniuses just got more practiced with this Arc Warden combo that they ran and look even better on.
Yeah, I mean, they've made the adjustments as well. They've got this Warlock Necrophos Ember Spear combo, which they didn't have in the previous game. Like, these heroes alone can carry a game in the late game.
Yeah.
And then the Arc Warden with the Blink Dagger, I think that's a really interesting pickup. If the good rock comes out, he can blink in. He can also blink the backlines like this and put so much pressure.
Here comes GPK, gonna be able to lock down the two of them. S4 struggling to be able to get the jump that he wanted. Oh, but they caught Arteezy. Can they get him a second time here? They're gonna have to wait out this Aegis, but Nico baby still has BKB. They're trying go for the snowball save. Instead, he blinks away. Arteezy is able to get a little bit farther out now. He's gonna be Walrus Punch up in the air. Nico baby's holding on to his BKB for now. Now pops it, starting to go for Ramses, but Ramses heals up pretty quickly, and they gotta deal with this damn upheaval. It is killing everybody's mobility, including Hanskin, who is gonna be left behind. He's gonna be the target of the Reaper's Scythe because Ramses said, by God, I'm gonna use it on somebody here.
Oh man, he's dead for 100 seconds. I think that was that was a dieback into Reaper's Scythe. Man, that's an opening for EG to do basically whatever they want.
Look at Evil Geniuses sweeping through up into that triangle. They've got their Tempest Double leading the way, I think that is. And GPK is not too far away either, so they're going to be able to get this one bounty rune, it looks like. So that'll be 3 for EG. Tier 3 items are up.
God, this is looking pretty rough. It's the fact that it's not. It really isn't the Nico baby versus Arteezy story anymore. I know that's what we all wanted to see. We want to see a repeat of the first game, maybe with something a little better from Limp. But I feel like the supporting cast of EG can almost outcarry Alliance alone, just based on the Warlock Fatal Bonds with the Ember Spear. Like, this is such a strong combo.
Yeah, this feels like Fly, GPK, Ramsey's obviously doing a pretty damn good job setting the pace of this game by winning that laning phase at bottom in the first place.
And the same thing would be true for Alliance as well, if they were ahead. I mean, this is a Death Prophet, right? This is no hero to scoff at. She can literally 1v5 if she has enough net worth on you. It's just that she's not ahead. You know, there's a 15k gold deficit, and that's the nature of these snowbally heroes, is that when they're ahead like this, they can look really good. This is how Smurfs and boosters gain so much MMR. They just get one item advantage, and they snowball like crazy in 1v5.
Looks like EG's going to go for what I call the sweep. when you're strong enough, you know, the off-lane towers don't really matter too much for map control. So once you're strong enough, both the tier 1 and tier 2 are up. You feel like you can win fights, you just bulldoze through that lane,
Yeah.
you know? It's a bunch of gold on the map. Just take it all.
Honestly, people these days sweep like back and forth too. Once they've taken this lane, they just go back and forth. They say, "You want to farm somewhere? Like, get out of here."
Yeah.
You just vacuum clean the whole map and push the enemies into their base. And
that strategy works even better. Oh, relocate. They actually are going to fight over this tier 1 tower. They've caught Ramses in an awkward position. He does have the Antis, but it quickly gets dispelled out by that Stormhammer talent. A nice block there from the Ice Shards will make sure that nobody else will get caught.
Gotta say, Eon Disc, not a solution to Sven. Doesn't do anything to that hero.
Why does Aeon Disc get dispelled?
That's a good question.
I feel like you invest a lot into that item that you probably shouldn't get dispelled.
Yeah. I feel like what he's going for is the Eon Disc procs. It dispels it after the stun, and then he has the ghost shroud, something like that.
Sure.
But I really genuinely believe that just the blink is the solution, and Arteezy seems to believe that as well with the blink. And he did not go for this last game, but it looked really good on the other heroes that did get it.
He's got the level 25 now, so the Arc Warden is very scary with that upgrade in spark rate damage. GPK is terrifying in his own right, as I believe he's got an Aghanim Scepter complete. As for, they break the smoke, blink away. Is everybody going to get out? No, they're not. Hanskin, he's going to get caught because he doesn't have Force Staff.
Crit's been on point with these Ice Shards this game. Just mechanically. That's one thing that I always have found really impressive about Crit is just his mechanics are they're insane.
Yeah, he's good with the skill shots too.
Yeah, he's like one of those players that's good strategy, but his like skill shot prowess is insanely high too.
That's why his Ice Shards are good. That's why he's been playing so much Pudge lately.
I'm kind of beating around
Marana.
He's not a zoomer, okay? He's not a zoomer, and yet his mechanics are really high. You know, he's not one of these like 18-year-old mid laners where it's like, all right, well they're a zoomer, so that's why they're popping off.
Do you ascribe to the age thing in esports?
Yeah, to some degree. I feel like there's an attitude thing there.
I think I think it has less to do with the physiology, more to do with the mentality. Like when you're 18-year-old and you're just grinding games nonstop.
You don't give a shit. Yeah. You just.
Well, you've been playing when you've been like Crit and you've been, near the top of the game for quite some time. At some point in time, you figure you probably practice a little less seriously. You probably grind a little less. Nice initiation here from S4. Trying to blow up this Tusk as quick as possible. But on the high ground here, they do have to relocate coming in from the Sven, but it looks like they're not going to help out with the rest of Alliance. They actually were chasing somebody else. Now they come back in. S4, was he bailed out there? The Reaper's side, it wasn't enough to be able to kill him or something there, but they do have the stun. Coming in from Nico Baby, putting in some work. Trying to save by the magnetic field, and it looks like that was just enough. They get the damage onto the Sven. He goes down, and Arteezy, he seems to reign supreme. Some of the EG members got a little bit low, but in the end, Arteezy stood strong, healthy, and just wiped out Alliance. There's nobody alive, nobody with bot back, pretty much, and well, this is looking like a swifter end to game 2 here, Jenkins.
They don't even have the tier 2. They're just walking high ground.
Yeah,
they're gonna go to the mid lane.
Oh, I thought for a second there maybe it was just going to go tier 3 into tier 4s. They might.
Maybe. Yeah. I could see it.
What happened to that Reaper's? I swear to God, I thought I saw it on Centaur. He was low.
Maybe he got IO healed, something like that. I mean, there's a lot happening in that fight. It's very confusing to look at team fights with Warlock, Fatal Bonds, Ulti, Ember Spirit, Maelstrom, Arc Warden, 2 Maelstroms flying around. These fights are chaos, but when you have the Warlock on your team, I think you favor fights being chaos. Then again, you could say the same thing about Death Prophet, too.
Yeah.
Once again, it just depends on the lead.
Radiant's middle barracks are under attack.
Look at those.
All right. Who wants to walk through that?
All right, S4.
2,500 magic damage or something. Probably more.
Do your job, S4. Go out there.
Look at the support center. I'm not going through that.
Barracks are under attack.
Constant, you go through that. Nico Baby's like, I'm gonna TP out, and so is the rest of the team. They're all gonna TP out here. Sven's done, leading off onto the Necrophos. Aeon Disc is gonna get popped here. At the same time, they do manage to get the lockdown on the Ember Spear, not too bad, but they're not focusing on the same targets. But Nico Baby got the most important target of all. That's Arteezy. This time around, they threaten him, and look at what a difference it made in these team fights. FNG, oh no, don't tell me he's gonna die. No, he heals up. He's good. He's not gonna die to that last Necrophos nuke. Crit spotted. The vision is given, and they get a third kill there.
Very, very well done. I mean, I think just every fight we see Nico Baby get on top of Arteezy, it does look really good. The question is just like getting on top of him.
Yeah.
Both of these times where it's happened, it's been when EG has broken their formation or Alliance has gone in a way where EG doesn't have their formation yet. Like Alliance is, they are doing a good job at finding these opportunities, but obviously when it's a 2k gold deficit, it's you need to do this quite a few times in a row to make it work.
You got to feel for him. They really needed Roshan to be up right now. Sadly, it's going to be a late Roshan here. Another minute and a half left, so no opportunity to take advantage of the Arc Warden's death timer here, and they couldn't find an additional kill. They're hoping to kind of snowball some kills.
Yeah, and their lanes are all shoved out too, so they can't actually get towers with this either. Like you said, they were looking for kills. They were looking, okay, maybe Fly's going to step up a little bit too far. Maybe he'll be dewarding or putting a lane out or something like that.
Yeah, Leon's been sitting in the pit, just like, please, spawn. Yeah. It's not, it's too late. It's not going to happen.
You know, Gaben giveth and Gaben taketh sometimes.
Yeah, and he certainly took it quite a bit here.
There's a lot of taking happening.
You remember that Limp running top power rune like 3 different times and it spawned him every single time?
Yeah. I feel
a lot of taking.
Yeah.
Now, Evil Geniuses, they're going to 3-man smoke up. Arteezy can join them off the Boots of Travel, so they feel pretty confident that if they find somebody outside of their base, or on a low ground area, let's say, that'd be pretty easy pickings. Now, there is that high ground of the triangle that's always difficult to fight into, and that's where Alliance are holding right now. They cannot afford to give up Roshan. They have to be able to fight for this. The sad part is, Evil Geniuses, they've got one of the better heroes to expose this, right? Just keep pushing bottom lane with an Arc Warden Tempest double.
Yep. At this point in the game, very convenient to have an Arc Warden on your team, as well as the Spark Wraiths just to defend the pit. I mean, they're getting constant vision.
Jeez, look at him go, man. It's just, this is insane. But look at Alliance wrapping around like this, and they may actually catch Evil Geniuses a bit off. They're going to run into Crit and run into GPK. They're going to pop it. God, Shrink, 2-man stun. Out from S4 with the Stormhammer on to 3. That's going to be a big one. Can they finish off Arteezy? He's dead. Reaper Scythe comes in, takes out S4. That's a dieback. He's dead for 2 minutes almost. But a one fight for Alliance, no doubt. The bounce back there of the Stormhammer stun. But Ramses, you know he's going to be run down eventually. And a stolen Reaper Scythe, making it look that much better for Alliance. Running, chasing him down. Fly, going to be caught as well. 3-shot quite easily. GPK up next. But it's very hard to catch him with the Aghanim Scepter Octarine core that he has. He's going to be able to get away fine, but that's buyback from Arteezy. That is a win condition that just opened up for Alliance. Maybe don't get caught here, don't get chained. Oh god, but they might just get caught by this. They know there's no Sven. That's why GPK is playing super aggressive. That's why FNG goes for that very defensive relocate back out. Now, are they going to relocate back into the Spark Rate damage? I don't think they're going to bring Limp in, that's for sure. It looks like Io's probably just going to instantly die, as can't really get away from all those slows.
A worthy sacrifice.
So in a way, this buyback is going to be forgiven, as they're very likely to get Roshan here, or agents for Arteezy.
That wraparound was absolutely beautiful. They had a very small window where that was going to work. They weren't playing in division.
Yeah.
That was the only angle where they could actually get on the back line, and there wasn't Spark Wraiths down there, but Arteezy was about to put them there.
In S4, that blind jump into the pit, that is exactly where GPK and Arteezy were both standing.
And that's the target. You have to hit Arteezy with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you just lose. Yeah, that was super nice. This is how they win the game. If they can kill Arteezy twice, and they've showed us multiple times that they can do it.
Yeah, there's not like buyback is way more valuable on Arc Warden than the Aegis, right? Because he like a second life may not mean very much on this Arc Warden.
Right. There's always that argument that like this guy dies like in one spot. A lot of the time, you just die a second time in the same spot. Like the situation where you die once.
Don't leave the item behind.
What is that on the ground there?
It's a purple item.
Yeah, but which one?
I don't know.
Maybe it's garbage. They're like, that's not even worth picking up.
Yeah, what tier 4 item is garbage? Havoc Hammer?
No, that's a good one.
I mean, the leveler was. The leveler was dropped by Arc Warden. I saw that.
I hope that's not a leveler. That's a good item. It's exactly what they need. I'm sure they'll get it.
Okay, Satanic almost complete for the Sven. Very big upgrade.
Ooh, Ninja Gear for S4. That is the item to get on a Blink Initiator.
Okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he's stoked. I mean, that's going to help him with these initiations. And they've always been so crucial in these fights. Getting on the right heroes in the back line.
The question is, can Alliance catch evil geniuses by surprise a second time? You can see EG already trying to give themselves every small advantage they can with this smoke up behind Ramses. It's not like Alliance is going to be surprised that they're behind this Necrophos.
I think they want to do another wraparound play. It worked the first time. It worked in the first game to go on EG before they were set up in their formation. And I think they need to do that again, especially with this Aegis on Arteezy. Then again, you could argue maybe they want to just stall for the Aegis and then kill Arteezy. But by the time...
Who has the magic lamp? Because it was on the Ember Spirit, and now he's picked up the Spell Prism. So I need to know who has that extra save. The Ember Spirit, he got caught up with the Reaper Sight. The Snowball save, though. It came in, and now Alliance is grouped up. And a giant hit from GPK as he is putting out the damage back and forth with those remnants. They've lost their IO in exchange for a toss, but S4 is super low. Can they catch him? Mansion blink away. He's trying to run. Looks like he's going to get out. Ramsey stumbles a little bit forward here. Nico, baby. They're going for Arteezy. He needs the vision, though. Do they have it? He sends the magnetic field onto the side. Can they get on top of him with the Necrophos? They got him with enough damage here. That's going to be life number 1, but they can't stick around. The Reaper Sight that's coming out. Then Death Prophet doesn't die to it just yet. Nico Baby coming back in. S4 with the stomp on Death 3. Hits the Tempest double as well. Nico Baby's going for it. He's going for Arteezy, but he doesn't have the damage. No! Arteezy pumps it out too much. He gets the Ultra Kill. He gets the Rampage. It's not over yet, though. Alliance have the buybacks. They may have just rampaged on Arteezy, but he still has no buyback.
They were so close to getting him there. EG knew they needed everybody to buy back. I'm surprised Crick didn't buy back, though. He was just confident in his team. It's like, he's fine. He's fine.
What a massive counterplay, though. Death Prophet, Yule Sceptered up here. That damn Tempest double. They're holding on to Nico Baby's buyback, waiting for them to overextend. It looks like maybe this is the time, but GPK has already popped his BKB, and he's already taken out the cores. Both Limp and X4 are going to die to that assault from GPK with a little bit of backup from Arteezy. And you know they want to end this game in style. There is nobody left to help old Nico Baby. Arteezy diving into the fountain with the rest of their boys, and it will be a 2-0 to Evil Geniuses.
Dude, shout out to Crit. What a snowball save that was from the stolen Reaper Scythe.
Yeah, to keep in track of a stolen Reaper Scythe and know that he needs to counterplay them.